Graham, have you got any updates for us? Team news? Any players returning or unavailable?
No, we had some. Jeremy Sarmiento got slight problem from the reserves. So in his hamstring, nothing serious, but will probably miss the game. No problems from the previous match, so yeah, everything's okay.
Okay. 4 games to go. 1 point off your record points haul. What's your minimum requirement towards the end of the season?
Well, focus on the next game. That's the first thing, to try and get 3 points. Like you say, it's 41 points we've got now, so that's the most we've ever had, which is good because we've still got 4 games to go to try and beat that. But the only way you can do it, I think, is just to focus on the next match. We've got 12 points to compete for. We're trying to get as close to 12 as we can, but we'll start with Wolves on Saturday.
Yeah, what about Wolves? What have you learnt about them this season from the previous game, and what do you notice about them? What's impressed you this season?
Well, we had a tough game at home. We were suffering with COVID and 1 or 2 things, but they were really good, I thought, on the night. And I think you have to look at the league table. I think there's 3 teams that have conceded less goals than them, so they're hard to create chances against, hard to score against. Really impressive defensive record. I think that has given the foundation to compete with the teams to go for the European spots. So I think Bruno's done a really, really good job. Came in, built on the things that were already there, but at the same time added his own little twist as well. So they've had a really good season, and it's credit to them that they're competing, like I said, for the European spots.
And what did you learn from Southampton last week? Up by 2 goals, end up with a draw. What do you take away from that game? Was game management an issue for you?
I wouldn't say game management. I think, as we know in football, especially this level, that if you're not perfect, there's a chance the opponent can punish you, and that's what happened. I think the first goal was a blow for us. I thought first half we were good and worthy of our 2-goal advantage, and then 1 long ball from pretty much nothing, and then a free kick, and all of a sudden it's 2-1. Changes the complexion of the second half, and they were better than us at the start of the second half, and we had to suffer, and then we had to show our, if you like, our resilience and our quality to get back into the game, which we did, and in the end it can go either way. It's probably a fair point in the end. So it's after a tough week. We had Tottenham away, Man City away, and then Southampton at home. I think it was a performance we were okay with. It wasn't a brilliant performance from us, but it's one that got us a point. And as we know all season, points are they're important to get.
Okay, just finally, how important is it the way you finish this season about looking ahead to the next?
Yeah, we want to finish off as strong as we can. I mean, I don't think it's like whatever we do in the next 4 matches defines what we've done this season, because we've had a lot of experiences. You know, we were talking about it earlier, the moments we've had this season, a lot of really good, successful, happy memories. But clearly, the more points you get between now and the end of the season makes everything better, and that's what we'll try to do.
With sort of team selection at this time of year, when you've used, I think, 25, 26 players in the first team this season, and a lot of exciting young players getting minutes, is there any sort of balancing act where you might want to give them more time, but also, you know, pick your strongest team, and that kind of balancing act to perform?
For me, it's pick our strongest team and try and compete for the 3 points is the priority. I think I'd be doing everybody a disservice if it wasn't thinking that way. We have to pick the team that we think gives us the best chance of winning, because every point in this league is important, it's valuable. The guys are competing in a really good training session today. Everyone wants to play, so you know that, and then it's just about picking what you think is the team that gives us the best chance.
I know you've been asked this a lot, but when you have such a good away record, are you able to put your finger on the keys to being successful on the road?
Well, I think if you look at some of the data behind the away record, it's not too different from the home record. It's just that we've scored and maybe haven't conceded. The little margins have gone our way away from home. You know, you look at some away goals we've got, late goals, that we've managed to turn the points tally in our favour. So I don't think it's so much different, but clearly it is, because the points have reflected that. I think what you need to be is balanced. I think you need to be brave away from home, bring your own identity to the game, respect the opponent, all the things that we do all the time. It's just that we've had some really good moments, like I said earlier. You know, if you think back to some of the games away from home this year, our supporters, it's probably the best season they've ever had away from home following a Brighton side, because the memories have been incredible. So that's good. The challenge is we want to try and recreate more of those at home, but still it doesn't take away from the fact that the guys that follow us away and commit a lot of time and a lot of energy have had some probably football memories that will stick with them for the rest of their lives.
Some teams very much do struggle away from home, don't they? The home form can be a fortress and away. And is that because they're trying different styles, or what is traditionally so much harder about going away from home?
Well, you've got the environment. I think is the big thing. The environment to deal with, which is the crowd, which is the the pressure that creates. I suppose is if I was going to think about what the main thing is. For us, it's about sometimes the role that you play away from home is slightly different than the one you play at home, and maybe that suits us a little bit more. But like I said, it's not a big thing, because the performance of the home and away isn't incredibly different. The points tally is, and sometimes the margin is so small that it goes your way one year and doesn't the next. Maybe it flips around next time. Who knows? It's for us, it's more about just concentrating all the time, home and away, whoever we play, go with a game idea, go with a plan, go with the right attitude, the right mentality, and then we see. Wolves
have had some cracking runs this season, and when they're performing well, they seem to really... a lot seems to be down to Ruben Neves, Joao Moutinho pulling the strings in the middle of the park. Neves is a doubt for this week, but I wondered, as a midfield pair, how impressed you've been with those two over the weeks, months and seasons.
Yeah, really impressed. I mean, they're two top players, I would say, and they knit that team together really well. Like I said, back five is really organised and strong, and then two guys that know the game, incredibly well, and then they're feeding the front players that could be three of any of a number of players. So they've got a good, like I said, you don't get to this time in the season and the points that they have, and you see the amount of goals they've conceded. They don't get to that for no reason, and those two guys have played a huge part in that.
As well as others have done, how big a boost in that scenario then is having Eve back from suspension?
Yeah, I mean, it's good for us. I mean, it sounds obviously common sense, but the more your good players you've got available, the better. We missed him when he was away. The guys filled in well, but still, it's nice to have him back.
I'll do me. Thank you.
Graham, Tarek Lamptey, I know he missed out the weekend. Was he all fine and everything with that knee niggle?
Yeah, he trained today, so he'll be providing there's no reaction. He'll be in the group for the weekend, so that's good. Like I said, it wasn't too serious. It was just the game against Southampton just came too soon for him after the turnover from Man City.
Defensively, you've had to chop and change quite a lot this season in terms of personnel. How difficult's that been? But I just wondered about the role of Robert Sanchez behind. It's quite difficult when constantly your personnel in front of you is changing. He seems to have been very consistent. How impressed have you been with him and how he's dealt with that? Yeah,
I mean, I spoke about this earlier in the week. That's been the thing that I've probably been most pleased with, or one of the things I've been most pleased with, how, despite the fact that we've key defensive players missing for decent periods of the season, we've managed to perform well as a defensive unit, I would say. And that's another factor that makes it harder for Rob, because you speak to most goalkeepers, they want consistency ahead of them, they want that stability. That's how you build communication, it's about understanding, it's all those things. And he hasn't been able to have that really for different reasons. So it's credit to him, he's still managed to help us with points. Saw a stat the other day, I think he's behind Alisson in terms of 1v1 saves in the league. He's helped get clean sheets. He's a young goalkeeper that, like us all, will make mistakes occasionally, but generally his level's been really, really good, and he's only going to get better.
And your defensive record is excellent. Wolves is unbelievable, isn't it? What do you make of that, and how impressed have you been by them defensively this season to get them into this position in the table?
Yeah, I mean, I face a lot of questions about scoring goals by you guys, and of course I understand, but you see a team like Wolves who haven't scored that many more than us, I don't think, but in terms of conceding goals, there's only the top three, I think, that have conceded less. And if you ask most of the coaches, that's a foundation. It gives you a chance to pick up points. It gives you a chance to keep clean sheets, which already is a point for you, and that gives you a stability and the platform to go and move forward. So I think it's vitally important. It's probably the foundation for their success. They do it really well. The back five plus two really good sixes ahead of them that know the game, and then as a team they work hard, well organised, strong from set pieces. So there's it's a all-round good team.
What about the job that Bruno Fernandes has done there? Because obviously, before him, Nuno was there for a long period of time.
Yeah.
They went through a lot with him, but he's taken that on. I mean, I think I'm right in saying that you took over at Swansea just after he had left the club. Is that right?
Yeah, I think he was part of
Carvalho's team backroom staff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the guys at Swansea spoke well. So there was nothing negative at all, positive. But I think the job he's done there has been really, really good, brilliant. I mean, Nuno has been there a while, done a fantastic job. I think it probably needed a fresh face and a fresh voice, which I think he's given, but he hasn't changed, he hasn't gone and changed everything. He's kept the good things there, moved it on, I think, in a good way. And like I said, they're competing for the Europa League spot, so, I mean, he's done a fantastic job.